Today on Locked On Rockies, simply put, the Rockies got their asses kicked.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 28th day of April in the year 2022. I am your host, Rockies fan extraordinaire Paul Holden, breaking down the Colorado Rockies 5 days a week right here on the Locked On Rockies podcast, free and streaming on your favorite streaming service. We appreciate you making us your first listen of the day. You can check out all sorts of great stuff on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel as well and join in on the show when we go live. The schedule's been a little weird this week, but hey, join us. So you get that, click that subscribe button so you know when we go live so you can ask your questions in the live chat. And we've had live chatters just about every show so far this season. Today on Locked On Rockies, that was a miserable series against Philly, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it kind of short and sweet today because I don't really think I need to grind the gears. I don't think I need to run things into the dirt, but we do need to talk about what just happened in Philly and what that could mean for the Rockies going forward. And let's try to pull some positives out of there as well. But before we dive too far in today, got to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com, and Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off $500. Use code Locked On at checkout. Rockies fall today 7-1 to the Philadelphia Phillies, only giving up 4 hits in that one. Getting swept, falling now to 10-9. The hot start has been evaporated, and the Rockies get a reality check on the road Rockies. You can't play that level of baseball at all. I mean, talk about a thud. Talk about falling back to earth, not gracefully, rocketing back, plummeting back. The Rockies, to stay above 500, are lucky about the home stretch that they have, and they're lucky that they get to go back home. But that set against Philly was some of the ugliest baseball I've watched in a long, long time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the conditions. I don't know if it was the way the field, what was happening, but the Rockies simply looked like a JV baseball team out there. They looked like it looked like the Rockies were playing in the minors. What the heck was going on? The Rockies simply can't be getting that from Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon, was it 4 errors already on the season? Missing double plays, bad throws. I mean, you talk about throwing away your opportunities. And it's crazy enough that the Rockies still, when they had all of this bad defense, they still had runners in scoring position and still had opportunities to get in there and score and get things and make these games close. Yet they didn't. Yet they fall flat. And boy, was the hot start exposed? I don't know what it was. I mean, there's no real better way to say it than it does feel like the Rockies were a little bit exposed this week. There was some bad luck. I do believe in the Rockies' ability to play much better defense. I know Ryan McMahon is one of the top third base defenders in the game. I know he's one of the best infielders in the game. I know the Rockies have a lot of good defenders. But this certainly wasn't on display there. And the Rockies didn't bounce back. The Rockies, they were able to do it kind of in Detroit. But the Rockies never, how the big hit can completely evaporate on the road is so foreign to it. It just is so weird. Where does it go? Why do you need just CJ Cron or Charlie Blackmon to be the only ones coming up? What happened to Connor Joe? How many double plays did Connor Joe hit into? And I know it's a 4-game stretch. It's April. It's early. Yeah. Let's, soften the blow. But that doesn't take away from the fact that the Rockies just simply played terrible ball. and squandered a really big early season opportunity. Even just getting the one game, you have a winning road trip out of it. Even just splitting the series, then you're still hovering above. Now you have to go home and take care of business. I know stuff isn't, I know in reality, using the term must win, but the Rockies can't lose focus. The Rockies can't go in and just get absolutely crushed and run themselves out of the series. Did the Phillies really beat the Rockies in this series, or did the Rockies just beat themselves over and over again? There's nothing the Phillies did other than take advantage of their opportunities. But it's pretty easy when you can get three people on base without a single hit in the seventh inning, with multiple runs being walked in. That's walking on easy street. All the warning signs are blaring now on the road. All the worrisome trends are back at full front focus for the Rockies, especially on the road. You can't sit there and feel nearly as confident about the Colorado Rockies as we were a week ago. I know that's a quick turnaround. I know it's a big change. I know that we were talking, we had a lot of positive energy, but that was a reality check. The Rockies got punched in the face, not even in the gut. It was a punch in the face. And the second punch was from themselves. I mean, I haven't seen a series played that poorly in a long time. And we can only keep leaning on the shortened spring training so much. The Rockies defense needs to communicate. They were leading double plays. They were turning everything. And all of those errors had catastrophic impacts on the games. Catastrophic. Extending innings, driving in runs. Unacceptable at the end of the day. And I know they know that. And I know I say it all the time with me from my armchair here. But that was a reality check. We saw our worries about the Rockies were not only on full display, they were amplified in these last 4 games. The things that you worry about when you watch the Rockies, you couldn't miss them because every single thing that you worry about with the Rockies was on display. Lack of hitting on the road in big situations, lack of control from your bullpen and walks in big situations, not getting the greatest starting performances. I know that's not necessarily fair because we do have to look at some of the starter performances that we got. Austin Gomber today dominated again, but got no help, but got hurt. Same with Kyle Freeland. If I'm Kyle Freeland and I'm Austin Gomber, I'm pissed. You have to nip these bad trends and these things in the butt. And of course, now on top of everything, the Rockies have to worry about Chris Bryant, who hasn't played. There's still a slumping Brendan Rodgers. Changes need to start happening in a different direction. The trends are all down for a lot of players right now. The Rockies luckily get to go back to a home again in two series that they should be able to right the ship. But you must start righting the ship because those downward trends are going to continue to put you in a tough spot. You simply cannot afford the Cincinnati Reds to come in and win more than one baseball game this weekend. You can't. You can't allow that to happen. You need to win the series against the Nationals. Yes, I'm now saying the word need because then the pool is filling up. The pool is filling up. And you're stuck in there right now. You haven't found the key. It's one of those game shows where you got to go and you got to unlock the thing before the water fills up. But that series against the Phillies, when you look at what it just did to the record for the Rockies, and the division play, a big stretch of it is looming. It's got to bounce back because the Rockies didn't show anything in terms of bouncing back this series. Let's talk about some of the positives here, at least from this series. But before we do that, got to tell you about some of the folks that make things happen. At BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether she prefers a statement piece or everyday subtle elegance, BlueNile.com has fine jewelry options for every mom. Yes, folks, Mother's Day right around the corner. It's not this weekend, but next weekend. you got to be ready for Mother's Day. Shop high-quality classic diamond earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, or gemstone pendant necklaces. And if you don't know where to get started with jewelry, well, here's the deal. Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7. Available via the phone or their live chat to help you find a memorable gift at every budget. Mark Mother's Day with something enduring. Classic diamond stud earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, birthstone pendants, and so much more available at BlueNile.com. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Rockies listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive is only good through Mother's Day. Use code LOCKED ON. That's code LOCKED ON. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com today. And don't forget to use that promo code LOCKED ON. So we focused, and we'll still have to talk more about the negatives from that series. The Rockies outscored in that series, and the Rockies let up 7 runs minimum in each one of those games. They were outscored, let me see, 7, 14, 21. That's 31 runs the Rockies gave up to the, let me see if I'm getting this, to the 9 the Rockies scored in that series. I was hoping the Road Rockies narrative was changing after that Detroit series, but it certainly didn't. But one thing that we have to be encouraged by was a couple of performances from some certain players, and it starts today. Let's focus with another great performance from Austin Gomber. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And he unfortunately had a one on the other unearned run, but the home run, a solo home run or whatever is fine because Gomber was rolling and then his defense let him down, and you could tell that impacted what Gomber was able to do. However, that's a line I'm hoping for from Austin Gomber all the time. Maybe if you can knock down the run, sure, but that's a great line from Austin Gomber, and that's a game where where your starting pitcher is keeping you in the ball game for the entire first half of the game. I know the Rockies went up against a stud pitcher today. I know the Phillies have some good things, but what's going to happen when they play LA? What's going to happen when they play San Fran? What's going to happen when they play San Diego? I mean, the Rockies need to be able to come up and back up their pitchers when a pitcher can go into an opposing team's home stadium and keep them off the board. Keep them under 2 runs. This new look Rockies offense is supposed to be able to score more than 2 runs. It's supposed to be able to drive runners in like it did in the beginning of the year. It's supposed to have more depth down the line. But we're seeing that the depth isn't there because of underperforming players that we could count on right now. And we're seeing the Rockies not have their biggest bat in the lineup. Warning signs. But one of the warning signs that was flashing was some of these starting pitchers, and Austin Gomber has completely changed it and flipped, where he has 2 back-to-back really solid starts that keep you in the ball game and should put the Rockies in a position to win, especially when the Rockies had opportunities to go for it. But then on the other side of the coin, German Marquez, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 3 1/3. The inconsistencies from this Rockies team right now is crazy. I mean, they look like a completely different team out there today. This whole series, the confidence was gone. The swagger was gone. Where was the team that beat LA in the first part of the season? Where was the team that bounced back after getting beat 13-0 in Detroit and takes the next 2? The Rockies didn't have an answer at all this weekend. It felt like they started brewing, they started getting something together, but they really weren't able to rely enough on some of their big impact players. We need more from the batting order. We need these players the Rockies to back up their pitchers, especially on the road. Kyle Freeland, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. I mean, that is a wonderful Kyle Freeland start. On the road especially, 7 strikeouts. Only the 1 earned run. missing barrels, getting strikeouts, only the one walk. You have to back up your team. I'm confident the Rockies, the defense is honestly the craziest thing to me about this series. What the heck happened to that? The team that was leading the league in double plays. The team that was, the team that has shown an ability to play elite defense. Yet whatever was going on over there on third with Ryan McMahon, it was like it was the popcorn before the game. And that's so deflating for your pitchers, and that's so deflating for your players too. That just kills momentum. Free runs, free errors, all that stuff just kills all the momentum. And man, the Rockies just felt like they just were stuck in the tar pits that the dinosaurs got stuck in. That's what you're hoping for with the Rockies, is those good starting road performances from your pitchers. And they got two of them and got two opportunities to split this series. And it is frustrating. It simply is frustrating. And there's a lot of baseball left. But I really hope that we get to see adjustments. And I wanted to see adjustments being made on the road. That's the big disappointment. I'm happy for the Rockies to get back to Colorado, and I'm happy that I have more confidence in the Rockies to handle business there. But if the Rockies really want to be competitive, if the Rockies are going to try to fight their way through this season to actually get to that expanded playoffs, you have to be better on the road. You have to back up your pitchers, and you have to step up. For the I know we're not there. I know they want to. I know baseball is frustrating, but as an athlete, they need to find that thing to start clicking, that thing that pisses you off in a good way, and use that to bounce back, because and fight. I just didn't, the lack of fight from the Rockies in this series in Philly was another big disappointing thing, especially because they had so many opportunities. It's just, how many times do the Rockies got to bang their own heads against the wall? Sam Hilliard hits a triple on like the second pitch he sees, and then 3 straight outs. I know Alan Trejo got unlucky, but it's like, golly, it wasn't 3 straight outs. Someone got on first because Connor Joe into a double play. Bah! Like, and it happened in 4 games in a row. There was like all this stuff. Hopefully, as we look back on things, as the season goes on after this homestand, and as we look to the next road trip, which is going to be even tougher, hopefully the sting and the frustration will go away. But you don't feel necessarily super confident in this Rockies road team. At this point, I don't feel much better than their last year's road team. I know it's a small sample size. I know they've won more games in the early stretch, but still, that was an ugly, ugly series of baseball. Like I said, I don't know how many times I've used that phrase this week, but anyway, Rockies, really frustrating, but some one player that deserves a couple of props as well, and a couple others. Well, let's go through, and we will give a couple of more props to try to find some silver linings. We want to bring a little positive energy. If you got a question in the live chat, feel free to drop it now. That is the good time for you to drop your questions into the live chat. If you want to make sure that you're asking the questions when the show is recorded, you can subscribe to Locked On Rockies on YouTube and jump into the live chat and ask your questions. But also, our friends at BetOnline are a big reason why we get to do what we do around here, and betonline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs and the start of the Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Yep, that's right, folks. If you are watching the Rockies or you want to join in on the fun when you are watching the next sporting event, well, BetOnline's got that live betting for you, so you can just fire up that website and get in on all the fun during the games. Head to the website today, that's betonline.net, or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action at BetOnline, where the game starts. It's nice. One thing, props to Jose Iglesias, by the way, who had put together a couple of really good at bats and a couple of really good performances at the dish. 2 hits in the game on Tuesday. And then he follows that up with I believe it was the 4-hit game yesterday. Yep, 4-hit game for him yesterday. And then a couple of hits today, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Just the 1 hit today, but still getting hits in 3 of the 4 games. The 4-hit game, Jose Iglesias being a contributor on offense is nice. It's good to see that life still from the bottom of the lineup. Still, the contributors coming from down there. That's a nice positive sign from the Rockies when they're getting there. Iglesias was held hitless in the series opener there on Monday, but again, Jose Iglesias coming in and contributing on offense and getting a 4-hit game. That's pretty massive. And then, of course, Charlie Blackmon had a good series swinging the bat as well. He's always had a good time batting in Philly, and he picked up a walk today. But nothing much in terms of the Rockies offense. The big worrisome trend that you see, I think, especially with the Rockies offense that didn't have Chris Bryant in it for the past, what was it, that he hasn't played in 2-3 games, I believe now, due to the back issues. You can see the impact that has on the offense. And again, the Rockies need to have Connor Joe get back into a groove where he is getting a productive at-bats and getting hits. He still had a hit and an RBI in yesterday's game, but he's getting those 5 at-bats a game, and we can't be having Connor Joe be going 0 for 5 too much. One of his biggest strengths was his ability to get on base. He does go 1 for 4 with a run and an RBI in the season or the series opener against the Phillies. So again, the flashes are there, the approaches are there, but still a couple of 0 for 5 games there as well. Because with Charlie Blackmon, the way he was swinging it there, would have been nice to get Joe on base a couple times, see if Blackmon could reel it in. But at this point, nothing much else the Rockies can do other than throw that one away. It's over. It's done. We've ranted about it. We've talked about it. We all know the issues. We're going to keep it short and sweet, and that's kind of got to be it. How else can you handle a series that was that bad? I don't think the Rockies are going to play that bad of defense ever again. Am I worried that their bullpen can have another inning like the 7th? Yes, I am. I am worried about the bullpen's ability to walk batters and the lack of control that we've seen and the free bases and the free traffic that we've seen. That is something I would be is the biggest concern, because the issue is there. We thought maybe we were getting more from this bullpen, but we have seen the bullpen now in the past 2 weeks really struggle, really allow traffic, and really allow runs to score. So we have also haven't seen all of the starters, especially Armand Marquez, really be as sharp as they can be, and Senzatella as well. The Rockies need those 2 pitchers to start stepping it up. But they head home for a stretch against the Reds, who are the worst team in baseball, and the Nationals, who are another team that the Rockies should be able to beat, but are going to have to deal with that big bat in Juan Soto. And of course, the Reds have some people that can swing it too. Joey Votto is still a factor, is out there swinging the bat as well. So we shall see, but Rockies need a nice bounce back road trip, home stand after a road trip that started out with a little bit of promise and ended with an absolute thud. They couldn't get out of Philly fast enough. I'm sure they packed their things up and got the heck out of there as soon as possible, led by Ryan McMahon. That's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Rockies on YouTube, and we are free and streaming on your favorite streaming service. You can find your favorite Locked On podcasts all across the Locked On Podcast Network on your favorite streaming service. Stay up to date with all things in Colorado sports with the Locked On Broncos, Locked On Avalanche, and Locked On Nuggets. Nuggets, what's going to happen next as they head into the offseason, the Broncos in the draft, and of course, the Avs. The playoff season is just around the corner, and we're just underway with baseball here on Locked On Rockies. Go make Locked On MLB and Locked On Now your second listen of the day, so you can stay up to date with all things in Major League Baseball. And folks, until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long